Hello, this is Abigail Barella with abigailbarella.com and Sparkle and Shine Guidance. So I wanted to share with you today about the 7th house in astrology. If you haven't had a chance to go back and watch the other videos on the other houses, you might want to do so. If you are a 7th house heavy person, then maybe this is just the video for you. So the 7th house is Libra's house. It talks about balance and partnership, and it's interesting. When I talked about the first house, I talked about the rising. When I talk about the 7th house, we talk about the descendant, and that is the point in your chart. It's the opposite of your rising, and so typically it tends to be and depending on if there's planets or anything there, it tends to be the point where you are least comfortable in your early life, and it takes time to develop and learn some of these archetypes or tools or ways of being. So more so than everybody has it. So it's important to look at what sign it's in. So again, when we talk about the cusp ruler and the sign that it's in, and so you want to look at what sign it's in. If it's in Aquarius, you might need to learn skills and develop skills to be more independent, to be more rebellious, who knows, right? So with that, I do a lot of work with archetypes and Jungian type activities, and so one of them is looking at most likely you're drawn to partnerships with people that have those, because what we do in partnership is we tend to be drawn to some archetype or something about someone that is like, oh, I love that about that person, and typically it's that thing that we feel the least comfortable being ourselves. So we often are drawn to, even though like attracts like, we're drawn to opposites as well, because it's something that it doesn't feel necessarily super safe for us to be that way, so we can look to our partner to be that way. And then this is also what we tend to be the most annoyed about our partner. Their strengths, their biggest archetypal representation tends to be the thing that drives us crazy about that person. So it's really interesting to look at, and then to look at within you and within ourselves what we don't feel comfortable expressing, which doesn't feel safe to us to express, and why that is. So the 7th house has lots of information. That descendant point has lots of information for you, and then if there's any planets in your 7th house, they have good information for you. So relationships, marriage in particular, but in general, partnerships. So this can be work partnerships. This can be partnerships in I have friends, I guess it's kind of like a business thing, but they own a house together, or they're not in a relationship otherwise, but they're friends and they own this house together, so they have to kind of deal with the house and anything where you're kind of bound or bound into another person, and it's like usually there's a contract, so business, marriage, that kind of partnership. And then it's interesting to see if you don't have any planets in your 7th house, you might be resistant to those things. You might be resistant to, so it's all about what we're here to learn in this lifetime. So if you have planets here, you might be just meant to learn things through going through that with partners. So that is the 7th house in astrology. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. If you're someone with a lot of planets in the 7th house, I'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to book your astrological intuitive reading from me, you can just go to my website, abigailbarella.com. The link is in the comments below. And yeah, please share with me any information you have about your 7th house. Bye.